Enlightened absolutism takes the form of a monarchical government in which the central absolutist administration was strengthened and rationalized at the cost of other, lesser centers of political power. Catherine the Great of Russia is the epitome of enlightened absolutism. She was friends with Voltaire and began a school for girls called the Smolny Institute.
Joseph the Great, you mean the mama's boy who started the potato war? It's so lame, but he ended up having a war with a bunch of soldiers basically digging at the dirt. In addition, his mom was retired, but he made so many mistakes so that his mommy helping him, she had to exit out of retirement and then co-rule with him again. He's only been ruling without his mom now for like 5 years, and he still makes so many mistakes.
Joseph's plans to restructure society and administration in his realms provoked growing frustration and political unrest, with the nobility calling for an end to innovation.
Joseph II of Austria imposed religious reforms that he copied from other people. What kind of little Dirmo Palki does that? I mean, he can't even come up with his own ideas. A leader should be original and should know what they need to do for the good of their society and not get their ideas from someone else.
Frederick the Great, he kind of strikes me as someone who's really petty. He used to be friends with Voltaire, but then after they had a disagreement and a falling out, he arrested Voltaire. What kind of enlightened despot is he? He let something as petty as an argument get in the way of enlightenment.
Frederick the Great upset the pragmatic nation, and doing so proved him to be a bad politician because he was unable to work well with other countries. He was a strict mercantilist, fostering domestic industry with high tariffs.
Frederick the Great was never able to strike a mortal blow to his enemies during the 7-Year War. What kind of person starts a war and isn't able to finish it? After the 7 Years' War, his lands were ravaged and his subjects were even poorer than before. What a dear Lopalki.
I've been admiring Catherine the Great ever since she was Sophie Friedrich August von Anhalt Zerbst-Dornberg.
Catherine the Great, on the other hand, she had a 15-year correspondence with Voltaire. He even called her the North Star. And not to mention, she protected Diderot when publication of the encyclopedia was threatened in France.
Catherine the Great really supported education. She started a school for girls called the Smolny Institute. The University of Moscow became universally recognized under her sponsorship, and under her, the number of public and private schools grew in Russia.
Catherine the Great is an amazing person, and she should be recognized for her accomplishments. In the words of Jesus, "He who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her." Meaning, you should not think about her private life. What she does in private is nothing that concerns you. The only thing that matters is the fact that she is such an amazing leader and she does so much for her country. All the other competitors like Frederick the Great and Joseph II have done bad things too, but we're not counting down on them because they do what they want in their private lives. Catherine the Great was so awesome and such an amazing ruler that it's just so aggravating sometimes. I mean, seriously, you can't find anyone better than that. With the Toleration of All Faiths Act, or Assembly, in 1773, she chose to assimilate Muslims rather than eliminate them. And this assembly was supposed to regulate religious affairs. I mean, how awesome of a ruler can you be to say that Muslims can be accepted where in other countries they weren't?